Hi, it's Leah Johnson with Be Equipped, and I'm bringing you the Insight Chronicles. And as you know, as it is our tradition, we want to give you a different insight on your career, training, and or professional issues. And I think we have a good topic today. Today's topic is supervising millennials. Now, if you're a millennial watching this, don't get offended. Don't turn me off. I got good words for all of us to hear, and some things I would really love to share. I believe my experiences and the experiences of others will be an awesome sharing point in a way that we all can grow. So, supervising millennials. Let me share a little bit of my experience. I was running a nonprofit organization, and I was extremely excited to hire some recent graduates that had gone through the same program or a similar program as the one that I was running. And I was excited because I just knew that they would have the passion, the ideas, the zeal to learn and give back since they benefited from the same program. To my chagrin, I encountered young adults who had a lot of opinions but weren't open to suggestions. Those who thought the expectations of the job were open for debate as if it was a philosophical discussion, who ignored direct expectations and suggestions for growth and did things their own way, not realizing that was insubordination. Others that would shut down when the constituents wouldn't respond to them or they couldn't gain control, yet wasn't open to other strategies for group management. Those who felt they could freely critique their executive director, yet had little knowledge of the ins and outs of a job. So I was at a loss. I spoke with other directors in education, higher education, law enforcement, and finance. I needed to know, was it just me? Was I this horrible boss? What's going on? And I found out they had the same complaints and encountered the same issues. Okay, so I wasn't crazy. But I had a problem with this because originally, in the beginning of my career, I started out in career development and higher education. So there is this innate career quality within me to develop anyone I work with, coworkers, colleagues, staff, so that they can leave whatever job that I am hiring them for greater than when they entered. So I had this problem. And so I began to read articles that referred to millennials as lazy, what do they call them? Lazy activists. Have a lot of mouth and a lot of things to say, but don't have to follow through. Well, I had a problem with that. I read let me give you some other quotes that I found. And then let me tell you what my problem was. Here's one quote that said, while some millennials are incredibly hardworking, they're simply incorrigible. It's their way or the highway. The rest of us are old, redundant, should be retired. How dare we come in, anyone over 30? Not only can't be trusted, but can't be counted upon to be sort of coherent. Let me give you another quote. There's what have you done for me lately generation? Another exec said, a paycheck doesn't seem to count as part of what you have done. Another quote says, you do have to speak to them a little bit like a therapist on television might speak to a patient. You can't be harsh. You cannot tell them you're disappointed in them. You can't really ask them to live and breathe the company because they're living and breathing themselves, and that keeps them very busy. Last quote. Only at the agency a few months upon graduation, a young lady walked into my office and told me her dad thought she was underpaid. I replied that her dad should call me so we should discuss the matter. He never called. Interestingly enough, I've experienced something or all of those things. And so I said, okay, this is not just me as an experienced professional, as an executive director who has run successful nonprofits, then what has happened? And you know what I realized? We played a role in this. We can't say, you millennials, you're the worst. Oh my gosh. Well, we can't say that because we played a role in raising our millennials. You know, I took a lot of time to reflect on my experience with my employees and said, okay, what could I have done? I like to reflect. Am I this horrible supervisor? I have all this experience and knowledge. What went wrong here? And And I found a couple of things. There were some mistakes I made as a supervisor. And so I'm encouraging other individuals who are executive directors, presidents, take a moment. You're right about everything you have observed, but take a moment just to see yourself. And so one of the mistakes I made is I assumed their level of passion and ability to operate in an entrepreneurial environment. I should have found some way to assess whether or not they were passionate or not, and they said, hey, I'm out of college, this is just a check. Well, if I had that idea, I would know how to handle them. I assumed their ability to operate in an entrepreneurial environment. I found that they needed, the ones that I encountered, or entrepreneurial in the sense that they didn't want you to tell them what to do, but they needed more hand-holding in the steps of the job. I also realized I didn't effectively communicate all purposes for things. So there's some things that I said, hey, do this, look at this, I want your opinion on this, and never told them the reason why. And so when I moved on to do whatever else I needed to do, that left room for a lot of misinterpretation. So I learned that I had to, for this population, effectively communicate the purpose for which I was stating my expectations or asking specific things. Now, you may say as a supervisor, I don't have time for this. I'm running an organization. I'm raising funds. I'm looking to talk to investors and shareholders. But if we commit to the role of really building our organizations, we as supervisors have a responsibility to our millennials. And one other thing I realized I did, I underestimated the amount of training necessary. And I mean, I had full introductory training. I had monthly check-ins. But I underestimated the level of training that they would need on a consistent basis. And so why do I say this? We all play a role in how we operate in this office environment, professional environment. And some of us who have had years of experience, there's still room to grow. And when you encounter a millennial that may have a lot of ideas, may not have the experience, and you're dealing with a different person on a supervisory level or a learning level in their career, then that's a growth opportunity for you. If you're a millennial, you need to recognize that, you know what, this job is nothing like school. So I need to enter it with more of an open mind that I need to learn. And so I may have a lot of book knowledge, but I need to learn. And how can I grow from every opportunity? So I encourage you, if you're a millennial, make a seasoned professional your mentor, specifically for the purpose to talk about communicating in the workforce, to talk about work ethic, to talk about expectations in the career. It will really help you grow. And if you're a supervisor, a director, be prepared to alter your training and supervising approach for this new generation of employees. It's not enough for us to point fingers at each other as supervisors or millennials. No, not enough to do that. We have to find a common ground how we can grow. So today I come to you again, Leah Johnson from Be Equipped, giving you the Insight Chronicles with our topic today being Supervising Millennials. Look, I welcome your comments. You can send comments to my Facebook page. Look me up, Be Equipped LLC, or you can email us at leah@beequippedllc.com. I would love to hear from you, and together we can grow. Take care.